I know, black screen. Don't be too scared. But no. You already know from the title and the thumbnail what we're going to be talking about right here. But it revolves around the revelation that seemed to come absolutely out of nowhere that Steven Crowder is going through a divorce. Now, I don't revel in this at all whatsoever. And you guys know my opinion when it comes to, marriage in general in the 21st century in Western countries. It's a bad bet for everybody, and he, tried to do it completely right, and he lays out a couple of different things that's going on there as well, but then also points out that, some of that bad news that he's had to contend with over the past, I don't even know how long. He doesn't get into specifics. I frankly don't care about that. The only thing that I want to elucidate is I don't revel in the fact that, a marriage failed. Of course not. I think that is absolutely abhorrent. And it's just an indictment on the system. And, the women just aren't built the same now as they were back in my parents' age. But there's some additional context that I can add on that front. And then also, we got some stuff revolving around one of my, I'll just say it, least favorite people that are out there, talking and, parroting all the different talking points and then just making a total ass out of herself. It's Candace Owens, and we'll talk about her very, very shortly. But first and foremost, I think it's like a 5-minute long clip or something like that. And like I said, we're going to add additional context on that, how you can avoid, a situation such as this, because when I heard it this morning, listening, and I've thought that, Crowder's been on a total roll, and him addressing this seemingly out of nowhere, I was like, what the hell is actually going on? Did not see this at all coming, but all of the lead up and knowing at least a little bit about the stuff that's behind the scenes, it's like, yeah, it totally makes sense. So, it's time to strap up and strap on, and let's figure out what the heck is going on with Crowder and make a little bit more sense of why he was so vociferous in going against Daily Wire. I don't know, I guess it died. Anyways.
Be on with your regular programming, and Nick DiPaolo in third chair in a little bit, but needed to take a moment here to address some issues out there that are circulating. It's never fun, but
there we go.
Well, I guess let me be clear here. I have been living with a proverbial boot on my neck for going on years now.
Years. Okay.
Since 2021, I've been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say,
2021. Holy man. Okay. I guess I must have forgot that, because I heard this morning, and I've been, ever since he's come back, I've been watching every morning because I thought it's been informative. And, given the fact that Nick DiPaolo's there, it's been incredibly funny as well. It's been a good show. It's been a really good show lately. So yeah, hearing this and then couple that with since 2021 going through a divorce. Now, let's also lay out everything that he's gone through since that point in time. Okay. In 2021, what happened there? Well, it also, he came to the realization that he has a massive heart problem. Okay, he's got a big old heart problem, and then couple that with at the end of, what was that, 2022 as well, okay, going through all the contract disputes and the negotiations with the Blaze, ultimately culminating in him leaving there as well, and then the uncertainty as to what is he going to be doing, okay, with this also, looming and lingering over his head as well, that, yeah, he's going to be getting divorced, and he has 2 new twins as well. And that's why, I don't know, maybe he was entertaining the idea of joining another network instead of just doing ultimately what he decided to do was to go completely independent, which was just seemed like a no-brainer, at least from, somebody from the outside looking in. But now, as you can see, the pieces are all starting to come together. Okay, yeah, he has a massive heart problem. This is that dude on the internet. He is the most popular independent conservative creator that's out there. Nobody's even close. Okay, people can try to be close. There is a nobody at all close. You can take a look at every single available metric. And when it comes to viewership, even right now that he's streaming more and more on Rumble exclusively, 125,000 people tuned in this morning at some point in time. Consistently, his first show back, 180,000, then just has maintained that consistently going forward. And then with this revelation, obviously that's probably going to spark something, rolling downhill through the rest of the week. So yeah, he is a popular cat. No contestation right there. Okay, so you would have thought, why would Why would a wife, why would a girlfriend want to get away from that? And then you couple in, the uncertainty when it comes to the old, busted ticker. You think that that's a little bit callous. There was another story that was out there for, it came out about last week at some point in time. There was a lady who was running a marathon in memoriam of her ex-boyfriend, when it realized that, he had cancer, it was just too much for me, and then, I just left, and then he died, and now I just need some additional clout for running a marathon in his memory. Don't need to get into any of the specifics that are right there, but your red pill truth for the day is that a woman is, her love for you is 1000% conditional. It doesn't really much matter at all if you guys have a happy, healthy family. If she's of a certain age and thinks that there's a better opportunity, or if you show a chink in your armor when it comes to providing protection and security for her in the long term, she is out of there. Doesn't much matter at all. And I know a little bit of the background. I could have pulled clips or anything like that, but it's fine if you want to fact check me on those, and do it at your own peril. I know that I'm correct when it comes to this stuff. But Crowder, he claims that him and his wife are the only partners that they've ever had, and he's going to go on to elucidate that there was no infidelity alleged or anything like that. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. I believe him on that. As somebody who works an incredible amount, out there womanizing, it's got to take a step back. Like, there's only so many hours in a day, and chasing box that's a full-time profession if you want to, get those numbers up. But you can still dabble if you want to, and, given his clout and the fact that, he just does what he does, if he wanted to step out, he has the opportunity. But he's staking his claim in the ground, mostly because he has a very strong religious backbone, which, again, is alleged, and I think I might... this might be one of those things that I have at least a little bit wrong, but I don't think so. I think I'm correct on this one. They both met inside the confines of the church, which, if they're both their firsts, and he picks a model who is, in her mid-20s, is saying that she has never been with anybody else before. Come on now. This is why, and we went through this on a stream a couple of weeks ago, Myron from Fresh and Fit saying that, there's a checklist of things that a guy should go through before getting married, and one of those things is to have a body count and, to be with 50 different women. Not to say that, that can't... go up or down depending on your location. Some places 50 is, as simple as living in a big city for girls who are just going to be out there, selling box for just a ride to the club. Like, it's really not that difficult in today's day and age. Not for the fact that, you should experience different types of flavors, colors, shapes, and sizes. No, that has nothing to do with that. It's just so you can disseminate the female fuckery that is out there. Because the rest of the stuff that's on that checklist, have $100,000, it's like Crowder Prince money. Anywhere that he goes, he was going to be successful, and it's just really nice to see that somebody is this successful, given the fact that he's taken a massive risk into independence and bringing on a bunch of other creators that he wants to put on, and shout out to him. He's winning at the game of life when it comes to that. But I say all of that to say this, that when a woman doesn't think that you're going to be her best option, that little hypergamous itch in the back of her mind starts asking questions. Oh God, I'm not quite 30. Maybe she is. I'm not entirely sure what his future ex-wife, how old she is, but oh God, I'm going to have how many additional decades in order to make sure that I'm safe and secure. And now that she has kids, she can use them in the leverage of divorce, which maybe is the case as well. I would the way that he elucidates the situation kind of seems like that's the case. So she's got her get out of jail free card. So thanks to no fault divorce in the state of Texas, I don't feel like it anymore, which is just code for you're not providing the same sort of value that you did when I first picked you out of a lineup at that church, where it's like, I got you. And you thought that you were all safe and secure by just having those guardrails up. Nope. Hypergamy doesn't care. All that is just a one-way ticket and a guarantee for life, that you're going to be set for at least 18 years, and then who knows, with alimony on top of that for however many years that they were together. He might have better lawyers, but then at the same time, he's also going to be paying for her lawyer because she was just a model beforehand, which, as somebody who's dealt with models before, okay, if she didn't feel like she was getting enough attention because, okay, I'm a model, I work, you go to one shoot a week, maybe, and you stand around and take pictures. This guy's running an entire company. He's got like, what, 30 people on staff filming skits that I don't necessarily think are funny, but he does film them regardless. It does a whole bunch of show prep. He is busy because he's that guy. And if, yeah, I don't feel like it, you're not paying me enough attention as somebody who used to market their beauty for the exchange of goods and services. You can see the recipe for disaster that's right there. Models, and this is a blanket statement, I understand. You can find a good one that's out there, but I'm sure somebody who put his faith in the Lord also thought that, yeah, I found a good one as well. Models are recreational use only.
And the outset, to be clear, there is no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either side. And no, this was not my choice. My then wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore.
I don't feel like it, which is, man, yep, nobody's safe. That's why you have to become the best version of yourself, and you absolutely have to vet your wife. You have to vet your girlfriend, because they can, at the drop of the hat, just get away with all of the cash and prizes that's available to them, thanks to, yes, no fault divorce in the States. And then don't think Canadians, no, don't think you're getting off the hook. I'm pretty sure, I know in Alberta specifically, but it's so many other provinces that are around there, if you cohabitate with a woman for, I think it's 7 years in Alberta, but for any point in time after that, it doesn't matter if you don't do the formal ceremony when it comes to marriage or anything like that, you're still common law married after 7 years of consecutive cohabitation. So you're still going to be on the hook, my dude.
And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted.
So
it's been the most
terrible.
heartbreaking experience of my life.
Yeah, and I do feel bad for this guy, because, he completely believed in the whole idea that, yeah, no, you can go and you can find yourself a good girl at church. You were saving yourself for marriage. You put all of the stuff that's up there, but then you realize that, oh no, I'm just living through an old order set of standards and rules, and that doesn't play in 2021's current landscape. Or I'm sorry, 2023, 2021, the 21st century landscape.
What I consider to be my deepest personal failure, and just so you know, my opinions on parenting and families have not changed.
Yeah, and that's, hey man, it's just another reason. And the fact that, yeah, this came out of the blue like that, it just makes me, respect Crowder even more, because I hate the people that say, oh, I'm sorry that I'm late, or oh, I'm sorry, here's my excuse, oh, the kids, the wife, or anything like that. I've never heard him bring this up, and this has been going on for years at this point. Nothing but respect for him keeping this under wraps, keeping business away from private. That's why I have a great respect for, some of the, there's some bigger creators that are out there that, have a tumultuous private life, but they don't bring that to the screen at all whatsoever. And that's why I detest certain people that are out there that always have an excuse. So it's just, oh, I got kids, I got work, I got family, and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, so does everybody else, but they don't use it as a point of complaint.
I've always believed that children need a mom and a dad, that divorce is horrible. And I still believe that children need a mom and a dad, and that divorce is horrible.
Yeah.
But in today's legal system, my beliefs don't matter.
Yep, you don't have
in
a say.
In Texas, divorce is permitted when one party wants it, period.
Yep.
So for well over a year, in the best interest as well as physical safety of my children, we've decided to keep this issue private and to resolve it privately with the appropriate attorneys, what have you, legal jargon. Now, in all this, one thing I want to be really clear about is certain. True north here is that my children are blameless, completely without fault, and so we decided to resolve these issues privately, as it's in their best interests, both emotionally and physically, to do so.
Yeah, because there are some crazy people who their entire life revolves around catching Crowder saying something untowards on the internet, which I like his show and I think he does a good job. And yeah, I'll catch a rerun every once in a while. If I have some spots, or I have an opportunity to listen to some old news that's out there to refresh some of my references, yeah, I'll do that. But outside of making the odd video on the situation, I don't really care about well, anybody that much, to be completely honest, to make it my full-time obsession to make sure that they're ruined as individuals. Like, even for all the Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney videos, I wish that dude nothing but the best, okay? Hopefully he can just move and hop from grift to grift, you know, killing off companies in the wake, but I don't want to see you flounder. I don't want to see you become a statistic. That's like, it's just, here's the problem, man. You need to go ahead and you need to realize what is very much on the horizon, okay? When there is a more marginalized person that's going to be out there, your time may be coming, okay? So you need to go ahead and hopefully invest your stocks wisely and have an exit plan. But other people aren't that honest and objective. Some people just want to see more successful people completely fall on their face.
Now, the other issue is, and this is something that I've kept private for likely far too long.
Yeah.
Many other people knew about this behind the
Daily Wire was the first group of people that immediately came to mind.
scenes. Some, not all, but some of them in positions of power, influence, leverage, knew of this. They also knew that the safety of my children included keeping it private. So if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, then you know the feeling well.
That's going to be important here for a second. You know the feeling of extortion. The feeling of extortion. Not saying he is being extorted, but if somebody has some information that they can hold over your head and, oh, I don't know, put on this moralistic crusade that, listen, we know that Steven's going through a lot right now, okay, so we're just going to simplify this contract. Oops, did I just go ahead and give my reference out specifically? Yeah, looking at Boring, looking at, you know, Ben Shapiro doing the exact same stuff, trying to take the good religious high ground. Listen, you peasant, you don't understand the situation that you find yourself in. We are ones that have good, strong relationships in the background, thinking that they could go ahead and wave their magical religious wand around. And that's why I've seen, you know, just a big tonal shift, because there were some things that, yeah, you know, relying on the whole my God thing beforehand, before the reinvention on Rumble for Crowder, it's like, oh God, you just kind of got to hold your nose and, you know, and just hopefully it can get you past those certain points when he brings up on the show. But that's one of those things that those tradcons are just going to weaponize against you. You should have just prayed harder. No, man, there's so many other things at work right here that you just don't understand.
Now, some of these threats were so thinly veiled that I'm frankly surprised you didn't all guess immediately.
Steven had...
Yeah, here's where it gets spicy. He doesn't roll any of the clips from the Timcast episode, but I would implore you to go and take a look back there, especially with this a bit of information in mind as well, that Candace Owens was wielding that bit of information like an absolute mace. She was being the old problem that everybody knows that she is to begin with.
Has a lot going on, I guess is the best way to say it. He has a lot going on, and that should be clear, because people don't do stuff like this if there's not a lot going on in their lives. I would like to implore my audience and everybody that isn't paying attention to this situation not to condemn him, but to pray for him.
See, she's in a good relationship, guys. She knows way more than Steven Crowder does, because, you know, she has a history of making an asshole out of herself all over the internet. So, yeah, being the left and the right's punching bag time and time again, she has a better grasp on the situation. Y'all should just pray for him. Just the tradcon nonsense that I just despise.
Sometimes people need a prayer. Sometimes people need a scripture.
No, instead of just her spurging out on Tim's podcast saying that Crowder's a pussy bitch or a bitch boy or something like that for, oh, I don't know, reading the contract that your boss ended up bringing over, and then you taking all this stuff personally just because you think you have some gossip you can weaponize. What a just an unlikable bitch.
You know, Steven purports to be a Christian. I am unsure.
And again, yeah, just trying to throw that whole faith argument back in his face. Oh, he purports to be a Christian. Man, fuck you.
At this moment, if it is my place to say more than that. You know, maybe if I feel in further defense.
See, if I feel like it, well, guess what? I can just go ahead and do that. What did Crowder say about the divorce to begin with? Oh, there was nothing, there was no infidelity or anything like that. It's just my wife, kind of felt like she didn't want to be married to me anymore. And what does Candace do right there? Well, if I feel like I don't have to, I just, woo!
Something should be said, or maybe if I feel that the public has a right to understand certain circumstances.
That's a threat. That is 100% a threat. Hey, man, listen, I might have had a bad take against you. Don't come against me, because I know that there's some things that, some people would be interested in hearing about as well. That, oh, maybe you're not being so forthright because I'm completely open and transparent about my life. Are you really, though? Because we got some other shit to take a look at as well afterwards. Oopsie daisy.
Oh, my children have a right to privacy.
Yeah.
Now, some other issues have been, or I should say, inferences have been more pernicious.
Yep.
Behind the scenes with demands and threats to use this information that they believe would be so publicly embarrassing to me and my wife at a difficult time that it could be used, knowingly putting my children in harm's way. So, to those self-styled Christians, conservatives, and allies, well, not in my book. Now, if you find yourself, I don't want to get into details, so this is going to likely be the only time I have to address this or want to address this. If you're asking yourself, hey, did X...
So does it make more sense now that, he recorded the conversation that he had with Jeremy Boring and everybody tried to make that a point of contention? How dare he have receipts that somebody was going to be untowards and not exactly engage in the bad faith? Like, you take a look at that 50-minute long video, Boring was definitely the best representation of his position, right? Right, guys? Right? No? Oh, okay.
Person, or did Y person know? The answer is likely yes.
There you go.
Which will be made alarmingly clear as this process of discovery continues. And it also, by the way, makes me that much more appreciative of those who did know about this and, in understanding the best interests of my family, my children, kept their word and used discretion.
Yeah, that's also like all the stuff that goes on with what's his nuts there, Quarter Black Garrett and Dave Landau, whatever that drama is. I still don't know too much about that situation, even though I've seen some other people bring it up there as well. But I don't think that they've made any reference to that at all whatsoever, even though that, they would have had one of the best perspectives in seeing all of this stuff fold out. So shout out to them for being, just not scumbags.
I can't thank you enough. Sincerely, I appreciate it. Won't forget it. It's pretty simple. I loved a woman so much that I married her. A woman who, despite all of this, I still love as the mother of my children.
That's why you can have love for a woman, but never fall in love with a woman, because her love for you is 1,000% conditional. There are still stories that are out there of guys who get sent to jail wrongly by a woman who they thought that they loved, and then still comes out the other side just going, well, I'm just thankful that she's still there for me at the end of the day, even though she just, my lies got him in jail, but that was just a misunderstanding. You never see that the other way around, okay? There's a saying out there. She will bring a date to your funeral. Keep that in mind at all times. You can have love for a woman, but falling in love with a woman means that you're going to make irrational decisions, like engaging in an unconscionable contract where you just end up losing so much of your contracts that also kind of sparked something in my head there for a second. I wonder why Crowder took so long to sign another contract after the Blaze stuff started to end. So hopefully maybe he was thinking about making sure that his ex couldn't get her hands on that stuff, but I don't know if that's necessarily his style. That would be mine though, but I'm petty.
And she wanted something else for her life. That's not my choice.
A single mother.
She simply wanted out, and the law says that's how it works. Now, of course, look, I get it. There are multiple sides to every story, but one thing that is undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own, in that I picked wrong, and that's certainly not the fault of my children. And I will say that what's in the best interest of my children is not internet drama, speculation, certainly not blatant or veiled shakedowns or dragging their father or mother, and I can't be clear on that enough, or their mother through the mud. And to anyone who tries it, I'm no longer going to pacify, capitulate, or sidestep, because I love them a whole lot more than I love you. And I will continue to do whatever is necessary to protect my children, discussing the divorce any further on social media or on this show or in any public space is not what's best for them. I'll be handling this through the proper legal avenues and channels available as a matter of record in which I have more than full confidence. So I'd ask
Hey, Candace, check your fire, bitch.
that you understand the need for and respect our privacy in what is obviously a pretty tough time. And I hope that none of this has to go any further than that. Now, on with the reason you're all actually here.
Well, actually, you can watch the rest of the show. Obviously, I'll link to it in the description below if you want, but we have a Candace response on this one, okay? But first and foremost, though, what about Candace's history? Now, of course, if you know anything about her, you know that she's made just a couple of reimaginings of herself over the years, okay? She used to be a big old lefty. She used to be a big old lefty that came over with a gigantic sob story. Like, as a senior in high school, she experienced intense bullying and racism. Owens grew up in Stamford, Connecticut, which is, one of the nicest areas of Connecticut. Now, Connecticut can be a bit touch and go when it comes to, just being nice and progressive and all that stuff, but outside of it, it's called Gun Wave in New Haven for a reason. As a senior in high school, Owen says she experienced a period of intense bullying, so intense that she brought charges against her bullies. Oh, interesting. Weaponizing lawsuits. Huh, cool. Seems like she's really pivoted from that position now. She says her group of classmates left her voicemail messages threatening to yeet her, calling her names. You better not blank. You better not effing be here, I'd imagine, because you might get a bullet in the back of your effing head. Teenagers. All right, proclaimed one message. In another one, the caller announces he's going to kill Owens because you're blank, poor, and you're black. Okay. Is he asking you a question? I don't know. Another said, Martin Luther King had a dream. Look at that blank. He's dead. Okay. Like, yeah, if that did happen, that sounds, pretty pretty pathetic and pretty disgusting for sure. I'm just saying, if you're gonna wear it as an opportunity for victim points, it's an interesting look to have right there. And yeah, used to be red pill black. Interesting, grifting off the red pill. A woman grifting off the red pill. Interesting. Never seen that before. But yes, what I said what we were gonna start with right here, but the additional context is definitely important. Owens ran a liberal blog. Oh, a liberal blog called a Degree 180 until she had her red pill moment. Oh, which seemed to coincide with the Trump train leaving the station, where she was like, ooh, there's a good grift that's going to be happening over there. Very interesting. In 2015, Owens left a job in finance to start a left-leaning blog called Degree 180. A left-leaning blog in 2015. All right. The blog denounced the Tea Party movement, which was very dead by 2015. And then candidate Donald Trump. It also included essays on personal development and other non-political issues. All right, but Owens says that she had a red pill awakening around 2016 when she founded Social Autopsy. Social Autopsy, very interesting, and encountered pushback from liberals. The story of what exactly happened there and who exactly was trying to stop Social Autopsy, which was, if you don't know, there's a link to it, obviously, is complex, and you can read about that here, which was a collection of different social media accounts for people that were saying nasty things online. You'd put them on a blacklist. That was Social Autopsy, where you could comb through people's social media accounts to see if they said anything untowards about a specific topic. Sounds like a gossip aggregator, or a way that you can have, I don't know, I know that this is a touchy word for you, blackmail used against you. Very funny. But yeah, now that you have all the background on that stuff and why I just vehemently am not a big fan of Candace, okay, if you couldn't tell when we were taking a look at the Crowder clip. But here's her response to this. Steven Crowder is accusing me of extortion. That's why I pointed that out. Now, he said, it feels like if you have ever been extorted before. Totally different situation. Somebody's hanging information that you don't want public over your head to, hey, cool it on your criticism of me for a second. This is so patently insane that it honestly makes me question how there are still people who cannot see how thoroughly undone he has become. Interesting? Okay, this is not stable behavior. He is a man on a spiral. Sure. Outright bizarre and concerning. if you are going to use your children as human shields to block people from digging further into your divorce, please do so without inserting me into the narrative. Even though you were making vague allusions to him at the time that he was going after your bosses for their predatory contracts. Okay, to remind people, the video Steven used to show me was a video responding to Steven's first set of bizarre attacks against the Daily Wire. That's funny, because his first attack against the Daily Wire didn't mention Daily Wire at all whatsoever, only until the point where Daily Wire decided that, oh yeah, no, Steven Crowder was talking about us and our contract is actually worse than he thought it was, and here we're just going to try to sugarcoat it a little bit. So Crowder never attacked Daily Wire first. Candace Owens, the bastion of honest reporting. Steven is not the victim. He never was. He's just a bad person who continues to burn a lot of people, says the professional bridge burner. Well, I guess it takes one to know one, but as for Crowder, it looks like he kind of hit a bit of a nerve, and yo, man, I don't know how you can take a look at all the context of everything that's gone on, you know, ever since the big contract thing came out at the beginning. Think that Crowder's the bad guy, Daily Wire the good guys, especially when they employ somebody who is just so wholly behind. Seeing somebody far, far, far more successful than she'll ever be. Like, Daily Wire put a lot of money behind Candace Owens, and now she does a free podcast on YouTube because that Candace Owens show went absolutely nowhere at the speed of thought. So yeah, jealousy's a bad look, kid, but she's going to continue to grift on this. I'd imagine she'll probably have a video out tomorrow, if it's not out today. I don't really know. I don't watch Candace Owens content. The only time that I was kind of on her side was when she was going after Nicole Arbor, who is one of the biggest chameleons that is out there. She is just as bad as Candace, and when they were bickering back and forth, I was just hoping for mutually assured destruction. But until there is more developments on this, we got another video out here today, and we also got a stream here in a little bit. I don't know how soon it's going to be, but that one's going to be fun, because then we can take, hey, you know what? We can take a look at a target that everybody despises. Vice. How about that? How about that? So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.